So this is just a quick video to show the functionality of an IoT monitoring, control, logging, and alert system, which we'll see a bit later on in the video. So this is the local IP address of the Raspberry Pi, or the hub, and this is the port number of the Node-RED software that's running on the Raspberry Pi. Which enables us to view all these variables and also control. This is kind of what's behind that dashboard. We've got the 3 variables being monitored and shown on these graphs, and then this is an on-off button, which is shown here. So just to quickly show the monitoring and control locally and remotely, if we just head back to the home page. This is accessible all online from anywhere in the world, provided obviously you have an internet connection. This is the control dashboard for the online. It's just a simple button which controls a relay here locally, which actually controls the current to a kettle. So if we turn this on, the power should then spike to 2200 roughly, as that's the rating of the kettle. And that's also portrayed here. You can turn that off, and that's also shown here. And the temperature reading is around there, as it's hovering around the kettle. But if we turn it on the kettle for an extended period of time, the temperature will be shown to rise. There you go. It's just risen a bit as we just turned on the kettle for a short amount of time. So that was it being controlled from the online interface. If we just head over to the local interface, reachable here on this local IP address and port number, if we just turn it on, you should see it spike there. And this is also portrayed on the online dashboard. You can turn that off. If we just turn it on again, it's also, if we reload this web page, it syncs up with the state of the relay. So that's off. That should be shown there. There we go. And reload that. That shows it's been off. If we reload this as well, it reflects the state of the temperature sensor. This is online. This is local. So just to quickly show how this all works, real quick, the alert system, as we had the power on during, what was it, so 1:27, the power was that. So let's see what the last reading was. It was 2178. If we head to there, that's reflected here. So I've got it set up now so that the user gets email alerts when the power is above 2000 watts. So if we can actually edit this to 2300 watts, which the power will it'll never actually reach that. So if we save and close, and if we just turn on the relay, which allows current to flow to the kettle, that then spikes up. You might be able to hear the kettle boiling in the background, and there's no emails being sent through. If we just edit that again, well, let's just test out the temperature. For example, the temperature readings currently are 31.3. So if we set this to 30 and save and close that file, we should see when the next temperature reading comes through, which is above that threshold, that an email then gets sent to a specified email address, which is this, which is my email address here, and then that's reflected there, 31. See, they're all coming through now. So if I just quickly turn that off by just adjusting the threshold to say 50 degrees, then I'll stop stop getting emails for that. So that's the alert. I've shown the monitoring control. So let's just see how the logging functionality works from a local and remote perspective. So here we can see the temperature, 32.3. If we head to temperature data, head to the most recent ones, 32.3 is there. Obviously the latest one is now, well, it's 32.4 and then it dropped back down. So this can be seen here as well, 32.3 up to 32.4. So if we, and this is the online database now. This online database can be reached anywhere in the world by researchers or analysts trying to look at, the data being collected from this monitoring system. So let's just compare these two databases really quickly. So let's just use temperature data as an example. If we just go to the most recent edition, this online database has frozen. Let's just wait for that to load. Give it a reload, and while that's taking its time to load up, as my internet connection is pretty slow and intermittent occasionally, I'm just going to quickly show how the acquisition board. So these are instructions on the acquisition board using this familiar address of the hub, which is here. This is the IP address of the hub, and the port number of the MQTT broker is 1883, and obviously localhost is this address here. Localhost and this address are interchangeable, and for example, the temperature monitor uses that address and it sets it up with this port number, which is the port number of the MQTT broker. Well, the Mosquitto MQTT software that's installed on the Raspberry Pi, and these are the topics. So, for example, if we go back to that temperature monitor, it posts the temperature readings to this topic, publishes it. The Raspberry Pi, or the MQTT broker actually has subscribed itself to this topic. It then converts that. It doesn't convert it. It uses the payload from that topic, the message payload, and it puts it into a nice graph, which we've seen here. This graph can be adjusted with how many minutes you want to look at it over. So say the last 10 minutes, done, deploy, and that can be seen here as the last 10 minutes, which will update soon. And the power on and off, that's just the button, and this is the topic that it publishes it on. And if we head to the instructions for the relay has subscribed itself to this topic, so it's it works in reverse to the way the variables are being monitored, and according to if it's on or toggled on or off on the local dashboard on here. If that's toggled, then we can see that on here it gets changed to on or off. The relay pin gets changed from low to high, or vice versa, depending on the instructions. It's a low level trigger, which is why low means on and high means off. And to synchronize the online database state, the state value of the relay, which is why when we turn it on, it turns on the relay and it synchronizes the database, which is what this is. This is the front end for. So if we turn it off, it also synchronizes it. And so that's the temperature monitor. If we head back to the relay control, And then every loop it checks on the subscribe topic, and it also checks the online database for the state of the relay and then acts accordingly. And so that's essentially how the platform works. If I haven't gone into too much detail, I was just going to show the database, which wasn't loading earlier. So if we head to temperature data here, reload that, go to the most recent values, just compare them. As you can see, they're very similar. Well, they're actually exactly the same. The only difference is the time difference. It's 1 p.m. in the UK, and these servers are actually 1 hour behind hostinger.com. So they've been reflected there correctly. If we go to water level data and go to the most recent value, this is the local database, this is the online database. The values line up. So that's essentially how this system works. It can actually be used for a variety of applications, and it is highly adaptable. These sensors, we can easily add more sensors, and they would just crop up here, and you could just replicate these web pages for more monitoring, or even for more control. You can add more buttons here to control more relays, to gain more control over your system. So thank you for watching, and that's how it all works.